Hello, everybody. It's your girl, Regina Sunshine, coming to you from what is always a beautiful day for me here in Douglasville, Georgia, with the Regina Sunshine Show, where I'm here every Monday from 12 noon till about 1:15 p.m. with Regina Sunshine Show, like I said, bringing you my version of midday motivation, helping you get a Regina Sunshine state of mind. And I'm so excited. Have two guests, two amazing women in the building today. One's a new guest. Can't wait for you guys to meet her, Miss Ida Ferris. And one is a returning family member, Tashana Richardson, and she is in the building as well. So it's going to be a great show. I can't wait for you to hear about the new projects they have, the books they have, and just all the amazing things that God is doing in their lives. But before we get into the main part of the show, we've got a couple of announcements. If you've been following me at all, you know it is Regina Sunshine Curvy and Confident time. Next month, November, it will be the third annual Regina Sunshine Curvy and Confident Empowerment Week. And I'm so excited about the list of events that we have. I'll go ahead and get right into it. November the 12th will be our kickoff. We're going to do an online kickoff, probably Facebook Live with me and all the women that are hosting events that week for Curvy and Confident. Just to kind of let you know who they are, where the event's going to be, what you can expect. But that Wednesday night, we're going to be doing a comedy show at Fats Cafe. I'm sorry, I said Fats, didn't I? Cat's Cafe in downtown Atlanta, hosted by comedian Jen. You guys may know her from touring with Cat Williams last year. Amazing. She actually was our MC for our Curvy and Confident Awards last year. She'll be back again MCing that award show. Again, on that Thursday night, we have a spoken word event at Urban Grind with Journey the Poetess. And a little surprise. It's not gonna be a surprise because I'm gonna tell y'all what's gonna happen. It's been on my bucket list for a while to read a piece at a spoken word event, and so I have committed that I'm going to read two pieces at that event. I am already nervous. Now, you guys you're a motivational speaker, you're on the stage all the time. Yeah, that's one thing. But reading your personal poetry is something completely different. And I wrote two pieces about one man, and I'm going to read both of those. Well, I've written more pieces about him, but one is all about love, and also the other one is about what happens after the love. So I am going to be raw and real and very transparent. And Journey, the host of that event, assures me that I'm in good hands. It's a safe space for me to share my poetry. So I'm nervous. I'm not gonna tell y'all I'm not. I'm really nervous. But that's November the 14th. Then on that Friday night, we're still working on the location for this. We're doing a networking and live taping of our show, The Curve, and the topic is plus dating. Or dating plus size dating in America. We got some amazing guests that are going to be on the panel. Men, women, men who love them thick, which, got some of those circling. Anyway, let me hop back on this side of the fence. It's going to be a great event. We're really excited. So Shannon Deneen and Melissa Waller from our show, The Curve, will be hosting that event, and I'm so excited. And then that Saturday morning, we will have the third annual Regina Sunshine Curvy and Confident Award Show and Fashion Show right here at Regina Sunshine Global Network. It's a Studio T in Douglasville, Georgia. And if you've been to most of my events are opened by a young man named JJ Day, and JJ is a favorite and people love him, and I've already talked to him, so he's going to be back opening up the show. And then Mr. Divine Rhymes himself, who does the Black Queen poem that all the women swoon over, is coming back with a little surprise ending to the poem. I'm not going to tell y'all what that is. And then my favorite female spoken word artist out of Greenville, South Carolina, Bittersweet, is coming to town. The very first event I had, I wanted her here. And so I'm so excited that on our third anniversary, she's going to be in town performing at this event. So it's going to be a great time. And I'm actually this morning going to make the official announcement of our honorees for the award show. They have all been notified, but this is the first time the public will know. So Here we go. First of all, for our leadership award, we have Joy Lampley Fortson. She's a Superior Court judge. I'm so excited about the opportunity to have her in the room with us, and she's excited as well. In business, we have Michelle Spence Jones, owner of the Blue Rose Art Bistro here in Douglasville, will be honored in business. In financial empowerment, we have Tammy Bailey Foltz. She is the founder of the National Association of Women-Owned Small Businesses, and she will be with us as well. For fashion, we have Twin Divine, Sierra and Kiera McFarland. If you've never seen these girls, they are twin plus-size models that just wrote their first book, and it's all about loving who you are and, walking in your truth and loving the skin you're in. So I'm so excited about having those girls with us. And then in media, we have Miss Carithia, make sure I'm saying it right. I think Sarithia Scott. They call her CC Love. She's a huge plus size blogger, and she has a show over, I can't remember the radio station right now, but she does radio and blogging and anything that's plus size, from Plus Size Fashion Week in New York, wherever, she's there. And she also is excited about being here with us. For arts, we have Miss Renata Brown, the founder of the GANSPA Awards, which is an award that honors people in the arts, the people that might not normally get honored, like for sculpture or painting or, spoken word, all those different arts. And she's an amazing artist as well. Shout out to Renata. For government and politics, we have Miss Maisha Good, one of the owners of Politico, and they actually, her and her business partner, are coaches for people who want to go into politics. And she's a small business owner and very, very involved in not only the Democratic Party here in Douglasville, but in the state of Georgia as well. For health and wellness, we have Miss Mona Shaw Joshi. And Mona does all kinds of retreats. In fact, what's interesting, the weekend we're doing this one, she's doing a silent retreat. And actually, we talked to somebody that went to one of hers where you don't talk for like 3 or 4 days. And they talk about just how refreshed you are after this time of just complete silence. And so she's doing some things in health and wellness that are not only working to make our bodies stronger and healthier, but to make our minds and our hearts and our spirits stronger. So I'm so excited to have Mona with us. In youth empowerment and engagement, we have Miss Renee Sewell, who I've known Renee for a while, always been active in helping our young people in the Atlanta area. In education, one of the women I respect most in this world when it comes to educating black children, Queen Thais from the Liberated Minds homeschool movement. Every year she does an expo here in Atlanta that brings people, educators from all over the world. She has 80 to 100 vendors. That should tell you the size of the event. We start thinking 80 to 100 vendors. And, 80, 90 workshops. Just doing a phenomenal work and showing not only parents who are homeschooling, but parents who have children in traditional education areas how to educate black children. And I love, love, love her. For community connections, we have Karen Campbell from out here with the women of Douglasville. So we're so excited to have Karen with us. And then our curvy and confident woman of the year. If you don't know her, I need you to go look her up right now. Her name is Dr. Shiva Quinn. And she is a beast at everything she puts her hands to. From business to, I think she's going to run for mayor in her town. Her daughter, she's got 2 little girls that own their own bakery, brick and mortar bakery shop, and they're the youngest bakery owners in the United States. And she's also a parent coach for other parents who are raising young entrepreneurs. So she is just on every front showing us what black excellence looks like. And I'm so excited to have her with us because not only is she doing all these phenomenal things, but she's doing it with lupus. And what it was PTSD, because she's former military, and just so many things that she has to overcome on a daily basis to do the stuff that she does. And I'm just wondering how the rest of us could even keep up with her. And I say keep up because she's one of those people that inspires me. When I'm sitting still, I'm like, I ain't doing enough, because Shiva out here, done got up at 4 o'clock and walked 5 miles, and now she over there at the governor's mansion talking to him about whatever she's talking about. But anyway, love her. So shout out to our Woman of the Year, Dr. Shiva Quinn. All right, so that is it for our announcements for Curvy and Confident. You can go to reginasunshine.com, get your ticket, be here with us. Something else we're going to be doing that morning, we're going to have a plus size queen fashion show. So we're going to have all these different queens. They have all these different plus size titles, and they're going to come and they're going to show you how to stretch your stuff here that morning. So it's going to be a place of great joy and excitement. And if you've been to any of my events, nothing's ever stuffy. It's always laid back and a place where you can fellowship and laugh and have a good time and just leave feeling good. And that's what I want for all of our women. All right. The lineup for Regina Sunshine Global Network for today at 5 o'clock, we have Focus Forward with Robin. Robin's got two amazing male guests. They're going to be talking about men's perspectives on dating today. Y'all might want to tune in, because one of the guests is, I think his name is Kelvin Johnson. They call him the Love Coach ATL. He's going to be here. So I got a feeling a few women might find their way into the building today to have a word with the Love Coach. But he will be here at 5 o'clock with Focus Forward with Robin. Then at 9 o'clock, we have The Curve, which is our roundtable women's talk show from a curvy woman's perspective. So join us here. So that's it. I think that's everything I have. And I can't skip over what I'm thankful for. I always, and Tashana knows that she's been here before. I go to my first break talking about what I'm thankful for. And I almost want to skip it because, the tears are right there. You know what I'm saying? And so here goes. I'm going to be real transparent. Tansy, here goes. I'm thankful for soulmates. I'm thankful for people that show us that love is possible even if we can't have it. I read somewhere that every soulmate is not always about love, that sometimes a soulmate is about friendship. And I've had the blessing of meeting someone that I knew absolutely that was the connection on another level that I never thought I would at this phase in my life. And when you find that and you find you can't have it, sometimes that feels like a death, something really painful. But I'm thankful today because it shows me that love is possible again at this stage in my life. After leaving my ex of 20-some years, most people, I don't talk about my personal life much. I tell people I'm a very public, private person. For folk don't know, I was married and with my ex for 20-some years, and finding myself here in Atlanta in this new phase of life, chasing my dreams and everything, and not believing that there was love again for me. And to have found and fallen in love with somebody absolutely amazing, even though I can't be with them, reminds me that love is possible. And I'm thankful for that. And the second thing I'm thankful for today is new hope. I'm thankful that in this, it's so funny, it's been coming up on my timeline lately. When the song Heavy Love came out with, what's her name? I can't think of her name right now. Oh man, whatever. The song Heavy Love came out. I made a comment underneath that at this phase in my life, I didn't believe that love was possible again for me. And that hearing songs like that, India Ari, that it made me hopeful that love was possible. And I had so many people, and this was on David Banner's page, so many people commented under that they had been feeling the same thing, that, maybe they were too old or it was too late in their lives, and that they were feeling this sense of hope again. And I'm thankful now because when I made that comment, I didn't know this person. And it just proves that God still hears our hearts. And there's always hope. That's what I'm thankful for today. I'm going to take a quick break. We'll be right back on the Regina Sunshine Show here at Regina Sunshine. All right, you guys, you're back live on the air at Regina Sunshine here on the Regina Sunshine Show. And I am back with my first guest of the day, and I'm so excited for you to meet her. Welcome to the show, Miss Ida Ferris.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
You look so pretty.
Thank you. You too.
I love your necklace.
Thank you.
You know, I think I'm in a girlfriend's kind of mood today. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So like I told you before, and I'm going to pick on Ida a little bit because she was like, I don't know what to say. What am I supposed to do? And I said, we're just going to, what? Have a conversation. And the audience just happens to listen in. Because for me, it's all about me getting to know you. And you know, what you share with me, the audience gets the benefit of.
Absolutely.
So I'm so excited. I always mention how I met someone. And this is the first time we've actually met. But I think social media is how we've connected.
Yeah. I have a friend who turned me on to you.
Oh. I'm curious now.
One of my friends I've known for a little while now. She is not living here at the moment, but it was a while ago.
Okay.
Where she said, you know, you need to check out Regina Sunshine, and so I've been looking at your shows and watching along, and finally I said I need to reach out.
Well, that's good. Well, thank you. It's always good to know that you're making an impact. You know, you do what you feel God has put on your heart to do, but it helps when you hear something back that somebody's been impacted in a positive way. I do have your bio here. I want to read a little bit about what you have here about yourself. It says, Ida Ferris, born Ida Kings, an American author born and raised in Virginia Beach, Virginia, on November 1st, 1979. In 1996, as a teenager, she moved to College Park, Georgia with her mother, stepfather, and younger sister. From early in her childhood, Ferris showed great interest in all things fantasy and the written word. As a child, she would write the most elaborate stories for school and for fun, her mother shared. Ferris graduated from Benjamin Banneker High School in 1998, and from there, life began as well as a career in the corporate world. She married her husband in 2004, and together they raised 8 children. I said 8, in Douglasville, Georgia. In March 2019, Ida Ferris released her first work of young adult fiction fantasy, Eternal Lies. It was at Bellinger? Bellinger Legacy. Book 1 of a much anticipated trilogy. Ferris noted that her Christian beliefs keep her anchored to the real world, but that in her written words of fiction is where she tests the limits of what's real and what's fantasy. That sounds good. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You know, so many of the authors I have on my show are nonfiction. I don't get as many fiction writers here, so it's a treat to have you here with us.
Thank you.
So tell us, how did you get into this fantasy world?
Lord, well, I've always just loved fantasy. You know, the movies, the books. That's just what entertains me. You know, when you have so many other things going on in the world that just, you know, stress you out, and you know, for me it's a release to be able to just, you know, think about something that you know is not going to happen. You know, there's no, you know, witches and werewolves out there and vampires, and I've always just enjoyed those moments of suspense and just like, you know.
Yeah.
and that's really what my book gives you, is that just fantasy side of, could there be? You know, who's sitting next to me? You know, type of deal. Even though you know it's not true.
Well, you know, it's interesting to go from, you know, like you said, your mother said, writing these stories all these years to finally putting yourself in a space where you become a published author. What was that shift?
My husband, actually. He always encouraged me. You know, I would write little short stories from the time that I was young, and my mother was just always very in awe of my talent. And but I always just thought, you know, you grow up, you become a wife and a mother, you work, and you just do what you need to do. And one day my husband and I were talking, and we were looking at something, and he gave me just this little bit of an idea, just this little bit. And he was like, you should write a book on that. Wow. And something just said, you're right. And I took the little idea and just ran with it, and I love it.
So what did it feel like the first time you held that book in your hands?
Oh, it was surreal. It was surreal just to, you know, to pick it up and just show it to people. And when I got it and I had to read it over myself, just even reading what I wrote, I went to a whole different place. Wow. Where I was just like, oh, okay, look about you? You know, just getting back into the story that I wrote, and I'm so excited to be able to share it.
Well, give our audience just a little snippet of what the story is about.
Eternal Ties is it's really a coming of age, love story. And yes, it does involve, witches and werewolves and some vampires, but it's not scary. It's not the scary type of, blood and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
My main characters are Lincoln and Jenna, and they're young adults. And Lincoln is a young man who has felt different just his whole life. And he never really understood why. No one ever really explained to him what was going on when he would see certain things happening. And it would scare him. It would scare people who didn't know him. But his family never, even though they knew what was happening, they never told him. And they moved to this small town, and he meets a young woman who has been put in his path for a reason, which you find out when you read the book why. But what they didn't realize is that they would fall in love, and that their love was the legacy that was put into place to fulfill a prophecy.
Wow.
And so you see their journey, you see them falling in love, and you see all the trials and that they go through. And just like in real life, where you don't know situations that you're put in, how they lead you down a certain path, where God is taking you.
Yes.
And you see that transformation through the story.
That's awesome. Sounds like a movie.
That's the next step.
I was gonna say,
That's the
are we
next step,
screenplay
Regina.
writing now? Have we moved on?
Not yet. I'm working on book 2, but that's a goal.
Well, I say go ahead and start writing the screenplay or looking for screenplay writers. Go ahead and begin moving in that direction. So as the other books are unfolding, you're putting things in place.
You're right.
That's how I think. That's how I think about things. So book 2, have you started writing book 2?
I have, yeah.
When are we due to release?
I don't know yet. I don't have a date that's set, but I'm working on it. You'll be the first to know.
This sounds good to me. So, what age range is your book for?
Honestly, this is a read for anybody who loves to read.
Okay.
There isn't anything in the book that your 10-year-old can't read.
Okay.
And it's not a boring book that a 40-year-old won't want to read. It's a quick read. It's not, incredibly, it's not like 400 and 500 pages. But if you enjoy fantasy and just going off into that other world, you will definitely enjoy this.
Well, I was asking because I know there are some parents that do like to read fantasy type books to their kids, and they're making sure this was one
absolutely.
that was appropriate. So, what do you have coming up? Do you have any book festivals or anything that you participate? Because I'm putting it out there because you need to.
And I am working on that.
Okay.
I don't have anything scheduled right now, but I will definitely keep you posted as I do, because I am working on a book signing that I want to put together, and be able to have people come out and see me, meet me, get their copy.
Do a live read.
Do a live read, absolutely, absolutely.
I think that's really important for you because I've been to book festivals, and in general when you start talking about especially Black book festivals, we have a lot of nonfiction writers, and it's a great space for you as a fiction writer to really get out here and be seen, because it's not something that we talk about a lot in our culture, and I don't know why. I don't know if that's just a cultural thing. What have you run across from people in our culture when you start talking about the fact that you've written a fantasy book?
What I run across a lot that I didn't even realize when I was writing it was people who would say, "Oh, I'm a Christian. I can't read stuff like that." And I'm like, well, I'm a Christian too. I love the Lord.
Yes.
He gave me this gift, and so I run into a lot of that, and I can't put that in my spirit. It's really not that serious. Have fun. I'm sure you watched Twilight.
Well, I'm a big Twilight fan.
I'm a Twilight.
Oh my goodness, I'm a big Twilight fan.
And so that's a lot of what I run into from friends that I never really thought I would get that response from. I'm just like, okay, that's your choice.
That's interesting, and that was why I was curious. But have you had anyone who maybe who felt that way and then did read it and
Yes.
come back with a different
Oh,
perspective.
yes.
Tell us about that.
Actually, it was my mother-in-law. And she is in her 70s.
Okay.
And she was one who said that when I told her about the book, she was kind of like, but she did promise she would read it. And look, she picked up this book and she finished it in 2 days. And she called me with questions. And she was like, I love it. And that was just like my peak right there. I was so excited to hear her say that.
And it's interesting because in the past I probably would have been one of those Christians that would have said that, but then I fell in love with Twilight. But that whole love. I'm such a hopeless romantic, okay, and that whole love story.
Yeah.
So yeah, and so when you were talking, in fact, that's what I was thinking about as you were talking about your story, which now has piqued my interest.
Absolutely.
About reading it. So with your mother-in-law, what did she say she liked best? Did she have like a favorite aspect to your writing?
She didn't tell me of any favorites necessarily. It was just the excitement in her voice that reading it just turned around her whole view. Now, I'm not saying that I turned her into a fantasy reader, but she did really enjoy it, and that's what made me happy. My mother, she didn't really have any hesitation about reading it. She knew she was going to read it. And my mom is not a huge reader, so she's not one to just pick up a book and read it, and she read it in a week. So I was just excited.
You're breaking ground.
Absolutely. And my mom is in her 60s. So, my children have read the book. And, my youngest son, he's 13. He enjoyed it. So, 13 to mid-70s.
That's great advertisement.
The whole average. You got the whole spread right there.
So as a writer, do you believe you stepped into a place of purpose?
Absolutely. I've kind of always felt that writing was my purpose, but not being on steady financial ground makes me uncomfortable. So I got to keep my day job. But this is definitely, and I have, aside from the trilogy itself, I have other things in the work as well.
Tell us about them.
Well, right now I'm working on a worship journal.
Awesome.
365-day-a-year prayer journal. It's going to have everything in it, where you write down your prayers, you take it to church with you to take notes on the lesson, on Wednesday night services, and your prayer requests, and things like that. And one thing I find is all of them that I have found are like 3 months or 6 months, and then you got to start over. And I'm like, I need a full year book. It's going to have calendars in it. So if you want to read the Bible in a year, it'll have scriptures so that you can get that done. And I feel like it's something that's needed and that people would appreciate. A lot of us like to take notes in church, and I find myself writing on the back of the tithing envelope. So because I done left my other little book at home that I couldn't find or something. So that's what I'm working on right now. That for 2020.
I need that in my life. I love that. Every year, my sister and I for Christmas give each other a paper planner. We still have. I use my phone calendar, but I love to write and take my own personal notes. And I'm always looking for something different. So I'll be interested to see that when you release it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll be ready for 2020.
That is my goal. Yeah, to have it ready for 2020 so you can purchase it and start using it from day one.
I'm ready.
That's what I'm working on.
I'm ready. Put me on your list.
Absolutely.
I'm ready.
Absolutely.
So legacy. When we talk about legacy, and you even mentioned in terms of your characters, but in your life, what do you feel like you want your legacy to be?
I want people to enjoy reading. We have online, we've got computers, but I really just enjoy picking up a book and turning the page and being able to read it wherever I go and not having a glare where I can't see what's on there, right? I want my legacy to be love and community and just that whole, I'm not necessarily one for a whole lot of notoriety. I personally don't need to be the most known person in all the world, but if you do know me, then you know that I love hard, and it comes across in the words on the page and with my family and just and with God, because God is love and he shows it to us, so why not show it to others?
I love that. A second ago, you mentioned as a part of your legacy, wanting people to love reading, and especially with I know some parents that do use fantasy reading as a way to, tap into that interest for their young people. Is that something that you hope that this book will do as well?
I do, because my children, like I said, they have read it, but that's because I forced them to. And, of course, they heard the pages as I was writing it, and so it piqued their interest. But a lot of young people don't like reading. Over the summer when I was telling my son, you need to pick up a book, he told me, well, I read this Instagram story. And I'm like, that's not enough. That's not enough. So, just to have that interest in whatever you're reading, just to enjoy it. Yes. And broaden your mind and just explore.
Yes. Well, when my son was growing up, he was going through this phase where he did not enjoy reading. And what I decided was, instead of forcing him to read what the school wanted him to read, he loved, superheroes. And so we started going to the comic book store. And he fell in love with reading comic books, which then translated to reading other things.
Yeah.
And I find if we allow our children to find what interests them, then we can branch out into the things that they have to read.
Right.
So, and with your children, how have you sparked that interest in reading?
I believe in my writing. Now they still, if they don't have to pick up a book, they won't. But when they do, I see. Now my son, he really enjoys the comic book aspect of it. My daughter, I see her when she is reading something, reading more of a suspenseful type of read. And that's fine with me, as long as you're reading, as long as you're, using your mind for something other than Instagram.
Yeah, staring at a screen.
Right.
Well, do this. Tell our audience where they can get your book and how they can follow you on social media.
You can follow me on social media, both Facebook and Instagram, at Ida Ferris, the author. The book, you can DM me, and I can send you an autographed copy along with, a special little token bookmark. You can also find the book on Amazon. It's there for purchase. It's Eternal Ties.
I was going to put it right here.
Eternal Ties, Bellinger Legacy. And it's doing really well. And I'm excited.
Well, as soon as you know about your book signing, let us know.
I will.
So we can get the word out.
Okay.
And, I'm even hoping for like a little role play read. I know you're talking about a live read,
Ooh,
maybe.
I hadn't thought about that.
I think that would be good.
That's a good idea.
A little role play to pique everybody's interest, and then just stop and say, "Got to read the book.
There
Got to
you
get the book. Got to buy the book."
The book's on sale in the back.
That's how you get people going. Give them just enough, and we're like, I'm taking it back.
That is an awesome idea. Yes.
Sound good?
Yes.
All right. Well, can you hang around for the rest of the show?
Absolutely.
All right. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to have our second interview, and then we'll bring you both back to close out the show together.
Okay.
Sound good? All right.
Good.
Well, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with Tashana Richardson here on the Regina Sunshine Show at Regina Sunshine Global Network. All right, you guys, you're back live on the air at Regina Sunshine, here on the Regina Sunshine Show at Regina Sunshine Global Network. And I am so excited to have a returning guest with us today. After the first time, you're definitely family. So welcome back to the family, Tashana Richardson.
Well, thank you. It's an honor to be here for the second time.
It's good to have you here. You look so good, but you look good every time I see you. First, let's back up a second. Earlier this year, you and I both were honored as Women of Excellence for the Atlanta
Wow.
Daily Tribune. And when I say you were wearing that suit, girl,
Oh, my
you were
goodness.
so clean. You look so
I
good. You look so good. I have to say that.
I'm still blown away. I was just talking about that this morning on my live. Like, I'm still feasting off of that moment, that nomination. Like, who, and I still don't know who nominated
I don't
me.
either, because when I get there and you see the caliber of women that are in the room, right? And I was like, I was doing the same. I was like, how'd they get my name?
We was in there.
We was in there. I was like, judges and anchor women, and I'm just in mayors, and I'm just like, okay. Regina.
Okay.
Because, when they start, calling us up to the stage one at a time, people got tables. People are paying like $10,000 for these tables, right? They got tables of people with them. And it was me and Ricardo. Hey, Ricardo. He was looking good, though. I'll give him that.
You both were looking amazing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But, it was me and him, and he celebrated me like he was a table full of people. But I realized in that moment, and maybe this is for you too, that it was about God putting me in spaces that opened doors. It wasn't about the recognition.
Mm-hmm.
It was about putting my name on someone's mind to put me in spaces that could open the doors for me to do the things He's called me to do.
Amen. Amen.
And I accepted it as that type of moment, because in the beginning I was like, how I get in here?
Up until that day, sitting at the table, I still was, and you looking at the bio, and I was like, is mine good enough? Lord have mercy,
Oh, when I started reading the Bible, I was like, well, Lord Jesus. But I'm thankful for the opportunity. Across the table from me was Marissa Mitchell, I think is her last name, Fox News anchor. Met her and then had her host our Awesome Girl Awards. So it was divine connections happened from that space. So anyway, when we done got all into it, tell our audience a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Wow. Well, thank you so much again for having me, Regina, on your show. And yes, we had an amazing time in Atlanta earlier this year. But my name is Tashana Richardson, and just a little bit about me, because we don't have a lot of time. But I'm a single mother. I'm 41. I just celebrated my 41st
Birthday,
in Las Vegas, and so I'm a mother of 5 wonderful children. My oldest son, he's in college. He goes to A&T University.
Aggie pride.
Aggie
I'm
pride.
an Aggie.
And so I live all my college days, or that lifestyle, through him. And so and my youngest, she's 9. She's going to turn 10 in November. And then I have a special baby. He's an angel, and he took residence in heaven back in 2012. And on that journey alone, taught me so much about myself as a woman, as a mother, as a person. For 3 years after my son passed away, to be honest with you guys, I really wanted to die too. And I didn't feel worthy as a mother. I didn't feel like living. I didn't want to do that thing we call life anymore. So I'm not a person of pain, but I was going through so much, and I said, well, God, just take me out of my sleep. I'll be fine. Do it in my sleep. I'm a hard sleeper. People know that about me. I would never know. And then I kept waking up. I was like, you can do it tonight. I kept waking up. And so after about a year, I had even contemplated about just going on a railroad track. And, it'll be quick, fast. And then I was like, well, what if I live and I'm still in pain, and I was contemplating. You have to be at a low place in your life to contemplate death. And so that's what I felt like. As you guys are talking about Twilight, I'm thinking about The Walking Dead, because that's just how I was walking around. Externally, I'm a hairstylist. I can put it all together. I can fix it, because we as women, we can fix it. But on the inside, I was decomposing, and I was rotten to the core, and nobody recognized it. And so that's when I opened up my mouth and just said, God, if you got me on this thing called life, I need to know my purpose, and I need to know why I'm here. And after 3 years, do you know he didn't respond to me? And I was like, what? And so I just began to be in expectation. That's the best thing we can do. When we don't
Yes.
hear from God right away, we can begin to be in expectation. And so after about 4 or 5 months, I just walked that line of, okay, I don't know what's going to happen today, but I'm ready. I'm going to embrace it. And do you know, when we're expecting God to do great things, that's when all hell break loose. And so when all hell started breaking loose, my ex left. The house foreclosed, and we ended up moving, and one of my friends, she came to rescue us, and we ended up going to her house, and I didn't have my car repossessed, and I was like, hold up now, I just asked for help. But I realized today that was my test. Do we trust God when we're going through? Even we're already going through, but then there's another dump load of that's piled up on us, and then God just said, you got to learn how to embrace the pit before I can take you to the palace. And so I just stood on that. And it sounds like it's easy for me to say, but when
Oh,
you've
no, it can't
lost
be.
a child, everything else that's thrown at you, it doesn't even compare. And so I just walk that path of the unknown, and I put it all in God's hands. Because I have a tendency of getting in the way of things and trying to do things my way. And I submitted a whole 100% to God. And I said, whatever this journey looks like, I'm ready. And once I released myself, I met a young lady named Renee Toppin. And so that started the beginning of my recovery in 2016. Prior to that, as I was going through my recovery, I created a space on social media called I Am Beautiful, the movement. And I didn't want anyone else to go through what I've gone through. If I could help shed a light with an encouraging word, or just share my testimony of what it felt like to go through suicide, to go through the thoughts of me not even taking care of my kids like somebody else to take care of them. I wanted to be that voice. And so I created that space for them. And when that group started, I had so many, me too, oh my God, I needed that. I didn't know you were going through that. And so it became a movement. And in over 30 days, it was 70,000 women in that organization. And we are 3 years strong. 4 years strong. 4 years strong in November. And so that's just a little bit about, what I've been doing here lately.
Honey. And see, I know part of the story, and still hearing it again, it blesses me, because not only are you someone who has been very transparent about the things you've gone through, but you've allowed other women that space. And so often as women, we think we have to put on the face, the show that everything is okay, because we're expected to be the ones that holds everything together. And for you to create this space where women can say, you know what, I'm tired and I don't feel like it today, is a beautiful thing, because very often in our personal lives we don't have that, because we are the ones that people are running to for safety, running
Absolutely.
to to feel better, and for you to say, okay, this is how I'm feeling, and if you want to say this is how you're feeling, you have the opportunity as well. What has it been like for you to share that space with these women as they have opened up their hearts to you?
It's been a beautiful thing to watch and witness, because you get emotionally attached, and we've lost some, and we've helped a lot. We have blended people together, and I couldn't thank God enough for me being obedient to do it, because it puts you in a vulnerable state. And with so many women and so many people watching, people have their own idea of why you're doing stuff.
Oh, yes.
And my reason was because I love people for real. And I didn't want anybody to go through that type of hurt if I could help. And so to be able to watch it, to be able to say you are beautiful from the inside out, it's okay that you don't feel like cleaning up today. The dishes will be there tomorrow. Yeah. It's okay if you don't feel like washing your face today. You are okay. I've had that moment, and I still have those moments, because we feel like this is what we're supposed to be doing. We've been raised to keep a clean house. We've been raised to look our best, but it's also okay to not feel like it sometimes. And we have that stigma has been put on us as black women. You know, we gotta have this. If you don't do this, then ain't nobody gonna want you. If you don't do this, ain't nobody gonna talk. You gotta look a certain way. You gotta talk a certain way. Well, here I am, Tashana Richardson, no high school diploma. You know, I'm just obedient to what God has told me to do, and you just have to take me as I am. And
Girl, that's so good. That's so good. Oh, but it's so real because I can say that in my personal life, I am the person that everybody goes to for encouragement, for strength. And, you know, I had a very, very vulnerable moment here earlier on the show. That's, you know, in my life, not supposed to be acceptable, right? Because you're Regina Sunshine. You're not supposed to be crying about anything, but we have to allow people to be human and that space to be human so we can heal. Because if you try to hold it all in, it becomes a very dark and horrible place.
And that leads me to mental illness, something
Yes.
that we do not talk about in our community. Like, I'm happy to look for a therapist right now. I need somebody, and I don't know what a therapist is supposed to do, but I know I need it because I have come to the wit's ends with myself. And, you know, everybody say, well, trust God. And I do. Pray. I do. You know, but these people are here to help so I don't jump off the edge, so I don't come and punch you in the face. You know, I need some type of balance because I'm a single mother and it's all on me. You know, I don't have no man at home that I can pillow talk with and give him my worries. It's all on me, my knees on the ground, praying, asking God to help me. But God has put people in place and professional, you know, help to help me. And we always shun mental illness therapist because, oh Lord, she done gone crazy. That's why I didn't tell anybody that I was suicidal, because I didn't want people to judge me. Oh Lord, she needs to be in the loony bin somewhere. You know, the social service gonna come take them kids. You know how we talk around the table.
Yes,
you know, that's
yes.
just our culture. You need to get up and go to church, and you know that's the answer for everything, which is true. But I need somebody to get in my heart and dig deep and talk to me. I need to hear that voice. And so for anybody out there that's scared or afraid of what people are going to think because you have a therapist and you're going through mental illness, there is professional help for you. And I suggest strongly that you seek and get it.
Absolutely. You know, it's interesting. Someone that I highly respect, and I won't say their name here, someone who I think the world of, that I think probably has it more together than anybody that I know. And she took about 6 months off this year. She told me, she said, I'm going in sabbatical. She said, I'm going to go into therapy. She said, I got some stuff I need to work out. She said, and people just going to have to accept that I'm going to be gone for a while. And I had so much respect for her to be able to say, hey, I need a minute. I'll be back, but I need a minute for myself. And to know that that's okay, because so often, especially we as black women, don't give each other permission to take a minute to make sure we're okay.
That's right.
So I'm so glad that we're having this conversation. Well, let's go ahead and talk about this book. So you have written a book. Tell us about your book.
Well, the last time I was here, I was in the process of writing it, and this book is my life. This book is from the time that I entered this world, and some things have shaken up, and so it took some time. I had to go back and do a whole overhaul on the book. The last company that I was with, that I was talking about, Rat and the Raven, they demoted me. They demoted me, and today I know the demotion was necessary. You know, sometimes we get into a position and, you know, we get elevated in companies and jobs, and, you know, it doesn't matter what you've done and who they said you are to them. They will demote you, and they will call it a business decision. And so it was a business decision for them to demote me, and then after 2 weeks I resigned, and it took some time from my book, but the book had to be released, and it's been released, and it was inspired by my trip to Costa Rica. I had a chance to zip line 9 lines in Costa Rica back in 2017, and the significance of the 9 lines are, once I got off, thank you so much, once I got off that 9th line, I literally just fell to my knees because each line was different. It was a different scream. It was a different yell. It was a different experience. And when I got off that ninth line, those lines reminded me of everything that I had gone through in my life. See, once you start living, there's no turnaround. There's no go back and I can change what happened in 1990 something. You're always moving forward. And life is a journey. It's a roller coaster, and you feel everything, you go through everything. And I literally cried because when I got on that ninth line, the guys that was working the line, because they start you off with this rope, and you hooked up to all these chains and all the heaviness, like daggone, I got to do all of this. But it was necessary to carry the weight to get me to the second and the third and the fourth line. And on that ninth line, he unhooked me, and I was feeling light, like all those lines were gone. Yeah. And he said, "This is your last line." And they didn't speak a lot of English, but that was so profound, and it hit my heart, because after all that I had gone through, hollering and screaming, I'm scared, wait, count me down, 1, 2, 3, wait a minute, the Tarzan swinging, that knife line sealed the deal that I had done something that I thought I would never be able to experience. In that beautiful tropical forest, like the green was a different green over there. And sometimes we just have to know that everything that we are hooked up to, it's got to come off. But are we afraid to jump? Are we afraid to see what's on the other side? Well, let me tell you something. It is okay to jump, figure out the screams later, figure it out as you go, because in the end, it's done.
Wow. That was my next question, where the title of the book come from. And yes, you had been working on it for a while. How does it feel now that it's complete, that it's here and it's done?
I'm blown away. I am blown away, because so many things happened to have this book in front of me. The cover was wrong. Amazon said the dimensions wasn't right. Like, redo it like so many times. And we finally got it right. And so in between that, I started a new company. I have something special for you. When I was here the last time, I was also working on my own cosmetic line. And so Miss 50K Cosmetics. Miss 50K comes from my prior company. I was the first $50,000 bonus earner in the company. And so that name just stuck, and I branded it. And so this is Rich Lady Red. They're all prosperity colors. This is my favorite color. And so you can inbox me, text me, get in contact with me some kind of way. But Miss 50K Cosmetics, this is Rich Lady Red. We have Millionaire Mauve, New Money Nude, Payday Pink, and Cut the Check Cherry.
Cut the Check Cherry!
So I am gifting you Miss 50K Cosmetics, Rich Lady Red.
Thank you. I am so excited for you. Tell us about the cosmetics company.
Well, it's fun. This is something fun that I'm not a makeup artist, but I just feel like when women look good, that they feel good. And so I just wanted to. The whole thing is put your money where your mouth is. So it's a clicker pen. You write your checks with your pen, and I wanted you to write prosperity on your lip. And so when they ask you what you have on, I'm wearing Rich Lady Red today, and so
clicker pen. Tell me what you mean.
Oh, it's a clicker pen. So all you have to do is click, 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 like a pen, like you would open up an e-pen and click it, and it pops out. So the lipstick comes out on the applicator brush, and it's very soft, and it has aloe, and it's a matte finish.
Oh, that's dope. That is so cool. I'm so excited for you.
Thank
I
you.
love that name. Oh my goodness. Okay, gotta get back to the book. This is so awesome. So in the book, what are you hoping that the readers get when they read your story?
I want them to know that regardless of your upbringing, your environment, that is possible. That is possible. I'm so inspired by Tyler Perry. If you can't sit at the table, then you go create your own.
Yes.
And I want people to be inspired, knowing that everything is possible. Not anything, not some things, but everything is possible once you put your mind to it. And my main issue into getting to where I am today was I had to separate myself from a lot of things and a lot of people, not in a bad way, but for my mental and for my growth, because everybody is not excited. Everybody is not, don't embrace growth. And, they know me from Tashana. She got locked up back in the day. Or Tashana, she the one that got 6 kids, 6 baby daddies on Section 8. They know that, but that's where I dropped them off at last. And so in order to get to know who I am today, I said, you know what? I'm going to put it in the book. So that way they hear from the horse's mouth. And so
I love that. So people who, I guess, who have known you for a while and maybe have read the book, what has been the response?
Well, I've been reading the reviews on Amazon, and see, I've been transparent the whole time. So most of them know the story; they've witnessed the story, and again, as they continue to read it over and over, they're more inspired to know that it doesn't stop. You know, God has so many doors open, so many windows available for us to go through that, you know, He's going to pour us out blessings that we don't even have room to receive. And so my overflow is for somebody else.
Oh, girl, that's good. That's good.
So I got to keep on living.
Please tell them where they can get your book.
You can go on Amazon.com and type into Shauna Richardson, The 9 Lines, and it'll pop up and you can purchase it in the Kindle version for $9.99, or you can get the paperback for $20.
One thing I love about you, again, I said before, is your transparency. Because even in what the birthing the new company and writing the book, you being very open here about, you know, wanting to find a therapist that can work with you. Your transparency, how has it affected those around you? Because sometimes I find people say, I don't want to be transparent because, you know, this person in my life or that person in my life.
Well, you know, it took me a long time to get to that point. However, I told my story in truth. And you just have people that are not ready. And you have to respect they're not ready, because when they're not ready, it's not going to transpire as being transparent. It's something that's forced. And so I respect the ones that are ready, and I respect the ones that are not, just as equal.
I love that, because I know there are some people who don't move or don't tell a story because they're concerned about the people, how people are going to react. And to see you walk this thing, like you said, you respect they're not ready. I like that. You respect it, but you still move in the direction God would have you move. Awesome. Well, I'm going to take a quick break. We're going to bring Ida back, and then we're going to have a little girl talk and close out the show together. Sound good?
Sounds great.
All right. You've been live with Regina Sunshine here on the Regina Sunshine Show at Regina Sunshine Global Network. All right, you guys, you are back live with Regina Sunshine and both of my amazing guests today here on the show. I mean, there's not to cry anymore this show. That's good, because I have to be honest, I was back in my office boohoo crying, trying not to cry live on air, and it still happened. But anyway, if you've watched the show for any amount of time, you know I like to close out the show with my guests, giving them an opportunity to share from their hearts, specifically to inspire you that are watching, that are listening. And I got a couple questions for you ladies today. This is specifically about women and to our sisters that are watching. Why do you believe we as women are so hard on ourselves?
Because others are hard on us. There is such a high expectation for women in general, what we should be, who we should be, what we should be doing. And I think because those expectations are put on us by other people, we put them on ourselves. And that's where we forget who we are and who God called us to be. And when we stop worrying about what everyone else thinks, that's when we can really shine.
I love that. I love that.
I agree. I definitely have to piggyback and just, you know, I 100% agree with what she said. The expectations are so high, and we're sometimes afraid to fail because of the expectations. So
I agree, and I think we've kind of talked about that as we've gone through both of your interviews. That we're the ones who kind of hold everything together, and so we feel like if I don't hold it all together, then everything else is gonna fall apart. So we don't allow ourselves those vulnerable spaces to just be human. Take the cape off, hang it in the closet,
absolutely,
and just be a woman. I say that all the time. And people look at me like I'm funny when I said, I don't want to be Regina Sunshine today. I just want to be Regina. And they're like, but you are. I said, you don't understand. I said, when I walk in the room, I don't want you to see her. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
I just want to be a woman.
Yeah.
Just let me be a woman today. And so many women that are out here do have dreams of doing things, writing a book, starting a business, but so often there are those doubts and fears that rise up. What would you say to those women that maybe have this desire to do something and there's something that's saying they can, or they have a doubt about their ability? What would you say?
There are a number of reasons why we get in that place of fear and doubt, and your support system plays a major role in your personal success. First of all, you have to make sure that the people that you are surrounding yourself with are not dream killers.
Yes.
Because they can easily do it. I can go out and change my hairstyle. I was like, girl, why you do that? When I got a car, oh Lord, you're trying to keep up with the Jones. You didn't need a new. But instead of embracing, oh, I like your new hairstyle.
Yes.
Oh, I love that car. So you have to make sure that you have people that are pushing you and motivating your dream. Because if not, it's black and white. They're dream killers.
Absolutely. Ida?
I 100% agree. You have to surround yourself with people who are going to lift you up and not tear you down. And if even if that person doesn't agree, they don't agree in love with
Yes.
you.
I like
It's
that.
okay to offer the other side, but don't tear me down.
That's right.
And that was one of my issues with putting out my book was, oh my God, what are people going to say? Are they going to like it? I don't want to hear bad reviews. Well, you know what? It's a part of life. And you got to have a thick skin.
Yes.
And you got to move on.
That's right.
And I 100% agree. It's who you surround yourself with.
In that same line of questioning, personally, how do you stay motivated? What keeps you going uninspired when you do have those doubts? Because we are human, and so those thoughts do creep up from time to time. How do you stay motivated in a practical way? Is there something you read? Do you meditate? Affirmations? What is it that keeps you motivated?
I've been reading Think and Grow Rich, and reading that book has reminded me that it's okay to go back to where I once was, and that was rock bottom. But don't stay there. And it's also okay to remind you what you've overcome. And so that's what I do, and I do it to my, in my personal time, in my morning. I once was homeless, but God blessed me with a home. And if He's the same God to do what He's done then He's the same God that can change my situation now.
Yes.
And so I'm constantly reading books and educating my mind to motivate me. There's a lot of stuff that I still want to do and I have in me, and then you still go through okay, am I doing too much? They're already saying, this, that, and the third, what are they going to say when I do this, and it's okay to remind yourself where you were and where you're headed and the successes that you've already accomplished.
Good stuff. Ida?
I have a friend who she uplifts me and she motivates me. Outside of my husband, he does an awesome job with just making sure that I kind of stay on task. But my friend, she just really pushes me and it's just like, okay, Ida, what have you done today? How you doing? Where are we doing? But I also don't let anybody put me on a timeline. I take my time and I do what I'm going to do. And if I find that I've come up against a wall, I pray about it. And I ask the Lord, I take a little bit of a break. And then I keep going. I just, once again, have a small group of people. You don't need 100,000 people trying to cheer you on. It just takes that one or two. And I have those people who just kind of keep me in that space.
Awesome. And I want to share too, one of the things, I'm one of those positive affirmations people. One of the things especially that's helped me recently as I'm making this very transparent transition from this situation. Did I say it right? Whatever. Is I've gone back and I've grabbed a bunch of Dr. Cindy Tram's videos on affirmations. And when I'm having a hard time saying them to myself, I let her speak to me. And it helps. Somebody who's speaking the word, who's speaking the truth over you. And so lately I've been, while I'm sleeping, you know what I'm saying, having these things so that my mind is constantly being reprogrammed, because when you're going through a tough time, you find yourself wanting to dwell on that thing. And it takes renewing your mind, transforming your mind, to get out of that space. And
Yes.
so that's what that helps me. I wanted to share that as well, because me and Cindy been having a good time. That's all I can say. I've been waking up. My son was like, "Is she in there?" I was like, "Yeah, she here casting out all kinds of stuff. Go back to sleep." Awesome. And you mentioned the book, and so I was going to ask you guys, because I'm always wanting to recommend books that people should read. And it's interesting because I read Think and Grow Rich years ago, and recently my coach said, "I need you to go get it and read it again." And so that's my new assignment. Go back and read it again. But are there any books that you would suggest that have been helpful to you that our audience could go and grab?
I wish I could say yes to that question, but when I'm writing, I don't read. So, so not right now. When I take a break from writing, I will usually try to find something to read. But when I'm in this
You're
space,
focused. Yes, I understand. You're in the zone. Well, I thank you guys so much for being here, for sharing your hearts with our audience. If any final word from either of you before we go? Anything that's on your heart, whatever it is, you got the floor.
Well, I just want to say thank you, for creating this platform. And sometimes we as women, we don't say thank you enough. And, I came here on a wing and a prayer. Shout out to Jennifer Houston, because if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here. And it's been tough being here, no family, any of that, but you guys have made it easy. You didn't know me. All I did was call you for some chairs, and you said, "Come on down and be on the show." And we have to represent to the world that this is what true relationship look like. You didn't ask me about my past. You didn't ask me about anything. You just gave me an opportunity to sit at the table with you. And for that, I'm grateful. So those are my final words. We as women, we have to continue to be real with each other, to uplift and have women empowerment in real life, not just something that you can just put a ticket price on and make a lot of money. But these sisters out here are hurting. And if you have the platform to help our younger generation out, please do that, because I know just by this platform alone has opened up so many doors for me. So my final word is to say thank you for your obedience. Thank you for your yes. Thank you for chasing your son's dream by being planted here to have your dream manifested to help Tashana Richardson out. And so I am grateful.
Thank you. Thank you, Ida.
Lord, Tashana, I promise you, is mine reading a part of all of this? Because that is so much of what I wanted to say was thank you, for giving women, like us an opportunity to share. And I would say to anybody watching to lift your sister. Don't hate. There's no need for jealousy. We can share this world. Pick up a book. Read it, share it, have a study group, get together, and just love on one another. We do too much of the other stuff, and it's just not necessary.
I'm glad you said that, because I remember somebody making a comment once about authors supporting other authors. That it's not a bad thing. They need something to read after they read your book. You know what I'm saying? Because for some reason people think, well, if I support this author, it's taken away. No, there's more books to be read. So definitely share each other's books and support each other. Thank y'all for being here, for being open and transparent. You were going to say something?
One more thing. Before we get off the air here, I just want to, as a thank you, give you a copy of Eternal Ties, Bellinger Legacy. I really hope you enjoy reading it as much as I've enjoyed writing it, and I just wanted to bless you with it.
Well, I thank you, because I'm a hopeless romantic. So the moment you mentioned a love story, I was in. I was all the way in. So thank you guys so much. To my audience, I leave you with the words I always leave you with. Remember this: God loves you just the way you are. You are beautiful because you were created in love. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You have the seeds of greatness within you. You were born to live a victorious life. You are brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous. You are worthy of the best things in life. Make sure you guys tune into the rest of the shows we have here at Regina Sunshine Global Network today. 5 o'clock, we got Focus Forward with Robin. 9 o'clock, we got The Curve. And of course, go to reginasunshine.com. Get your tickets for Regina Sunshine Curvy and Confident Empowerment Week. It's going to be an amazing celebration of everything that makes us women. All right, I leave you with my personal motto. I always say it's not over till I win. If I hadn't won yet, that just means it's not over. So I tell you today, it's not over till you win. If you hadn't won yet, baby, that just means it's not over. Be blessed and keep winning.